the lab manual, because this is going to look identical to that. I'm really only going to ask for like if anything that's pinned and I'm like, what is this structure? It's going to be something major and obvious. So for example, you have the superficial ophthalmic. It's pretty obvious. The optic tract, the optic bulb, or the optic sac. Those are pretty obvious. And then we have, you know, the cerebrum, the cerebellum. What are these?
Optic lobe. Optic
lobes, right? So these are major structures I could pin. And I could ask you what they are. The same thing back here with the vagus and the glossopharyngeal nerve, because those are pretty obvious and distinct because they're both running posterior. They're really large. Stuff like the trochlear nerve. So this is actually the trochlear nerve here. I'm not gonna stick a pin through that and ask you to identify it. But what you can do is if you just go through the manual and kind of learn where they are, what you'll know is that this, you can see that running to this dorsal oblique, so that tells you that the trochlear innervates the dorsal oblique. So in terms of what I could have pinned and labeled, it'll be these kind of larger major structures. And also I could have things pinned and ask you which region of the cranium or the brain it is. So the telencephalon, the diencephalon, mesencephalon, metencephalon, like that. The other thing that I could potentially do is have one of those structures pinned and ask you to name, say, a cranial nerve that originates from this region of the brain. So 5 through 10 are all going to originate from the myelencephalon, right? So the telencephalon, you're going to have the optic nerve, basically that optic tract. And then the same thing, so that would be if it's pinned, but I could do the same thing